Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be we're not even taking a look at anything. We are doing our first custom video, as you can see here already. So, as you can see, I have my Mafex Psylocke figure right here. Let me actually take the hands off, because that will be necessary. Well, not really. But here we have the Mafex Psylocke that I reviewed a while back at this point. So if you want to take a look at that video, you definitely can. It's going to be down in the comments, or not the comments, but in the description of this video. But yeah, no. We are going to be modifying this Psylocke. Now, how are we going to modify it? We're just going to be making the Marvel Rivals Psylocke, pretty much. So because of the boom of Marvel Rivals, I really have been wanting them to make a figure line for these characters, and they haven't. I don't know if it's licensing issues or whatever, but I decided to take it upon my own hands, of course. So I decided to Thanos this crap. Or this shit. It's already been a minute, so whatever. So again, as an artist, I'm somewhat of an artist myself, so I wanted to take it upon myself to make these figures. And so again, we're going to be making the Mafex Psylocke. Here I have the reference picture, as you guys can see, quote unquote, or technically this is the Vengeance skin from Marvel Rivals. It is probably the most comic accurate Psylocke that there is right now, and then this is probably the best Psylocke that there is in terms of the actual action figures that there are right now. So over here, I actually got a head sculpt from eBay. So let me get this right here. So this head sculpt is actually really well done. It is, I think it's PVC? I'm not entirely sure. But I got it from an eBay store, which I'll put the name right here, just so you guys know where to go get one if you want to get one. I will tell you, please do not influx them with an insane amount of orders, because it seems to be that they're only one person. All right, I'm going to step in real quick here. So they are not one person. They have over 40 creators within their shop. I'll have the link in the description down below if you want to see what their catalog is. They have a lot of variety when it comes to their sculpts and everything, so I would definitely suggest them. The quality of the prints and everything are also absolutely fantastic. Very much enjoyed it. They're not expensive either, so you can definitely get one for yourself if you would like to. So just wanted to put that out there. In comparison, this one is not a bad Psylocke head, and they are pretty much the exact same size. It is a tad bit bigger, I will tell you that. But I've prepared myself. I'm going to put this one on the side because I don't want to get paint all over it. So here I have the head sculpt, which I will zoom in right here. I have the head sculpt, I have a couple of brushes, I have my little paint palette, water on the side, and I am not fully prepared for this because I actually do not have professional acrylic paints. I actually have turned acrylic gouache. So this could actually be really good, or this could be terrible, by the way. So we'll find out during this video. So you'll see just a time lapse of me trying to get this figure done. So what I'll probably start doing, I'll probably start with the skin tone, with matching the skin tone as best as I can with this figure. Just letting you know, because I do not want the skin tones to be completely different. The skin does have a slight different hue to it, or just it's a little bit duller. So let the time lapse begin, I guess. So I'm already 5 minutes into this video. That's kind of long. All right, so I'm gonna just talk over this because it's pretty much just a very quick, well, actually quite long montage of me just painting the head sculpt and sort of messing it up here and there sometimes. But I want to give you guys some tips and also tricks as a beginner myself that
I have used for this head sculpt in terms of how to paint them and what's good to use for any customs that you want to do, or any head sculpt customs or painting or anything that you are wanting to do, but you're afraid of actually doing it because you don't know if you're going to do it right or if you're going to mess it up. Now, I think the first thing that you need to do is understanding what materials you need. The materials are always going to be the most necessary things that you're going to need for your painting process. And I'm telling you this as an artist myself. So, the first thing that you want to get is professional paints. Now, you could use the crappy, cheap acrylic paints from the Michaels store. You might just not get a perfect product afterwards. So, if you want to use those to test those out, or to test it out as a beginning thing, sure, go ahead. I'm not going to hold you back. But if you wanted to actually start doing custom head sculpts, you might want to invest into some more professional paintings, especially if you're going to be selling them yourself. Now, also, brushes. Brushes are also the second most important thing because that's what you're going to be using to paint your canvas. And I'm going to be referring to the head sculpts as canvases because it's easier for me. Now, the brushes, you want to have a variety of brushes. You don't want to have just one brush. Otherwise, you're just not going to mess up. You're going to mess up a lot of things. You want to have flat brushes, thin brushes, small brushes, big brushes every now and then, and very fine tip brushes. There's a lot. Just get yourself like a 12-pack of brushes that you can get for like less than $20 at Michaels. Any type of brush would work. Now, just make sure that they're actually soft in quality and that they don't peel off easily. Otherwise, that's actually going to be kind of an issue if you get a hair stuck in the paint and you don't notice until it actually fully dries, and then you have to take it off and then repaint and whatever. Now, for me, the first thing that I like to do is to match the colors that I'm going to be using as best as I can. As you probably have seen here, you have already seen me try to match the skin color, and I think I did a really good job when matching the skin color. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back there. So that's something that you want to do first. Get your colors first, and then you can start painting. Do not start painting before you get the colors that you want. You want to match the figure that you're trying to custom paint for as best as possible. You want to get the perfect green, the perfect red, the perfect skin tone, that sort of thing. It's easier to plan it beforehand. Just kind of test a couple of mixtures out before, and just use little amounts of paint. Do not use the full bottle or the full little pack of paint that you got. Expensive paints run you a very long time if you are sufficient with them. Do not put like half of the packet onto a paint tray or paint palette or anything. Use like one drop and just kind of gauge how much you have to use to get the color that you want. Write it down if you want if you want to do that, because it actually might be easier every now and then to just make sure that it's written down somewhere and you can remember it. Now, when you're painting, you want to use as little paint as possible. You do not want to full on just grab a glob of paint and then paint it over. You do not want to do that. Also, before you actually start with the painting process, you want to water down your paints. Acrylic paint is very thick. Not as thick as oil paint, but it is thick. Now, you want to water it down by just adding tiny amounts of water. You do not want to overflow it. You do not want to gush it with water. You want to add little amounts of paint while you're grabbing the color. This will allow the paint to thin out and have much smoother and easier to do layers onto your canvas. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because if you just go in bare bones without even like washing your brushes, you're going to have not only the dirt inside of the brushes that already comes in there, you're also just going to have the thick paint just paste over the entire canvas, and that's not what you want. You want to use layers. You do not want to finish a head sculpt or a custom within 30 minutes. I wish you could. It would be perfect if you could, but it takes time and patience to actually do these things. You'll see me here. I take off the head sculpt off camera multiple times, and that's because I kind of had to. Otherwise, I would go crazy if I had to just kind of like move my head around throughout the entire setup that I have going on. So you'll see a lot of that happening. So again, make sure you have a good space to work at. Make sure your paint is thinned out. Otherwise, it's going to be super thick and you're going to have globs of paint just dry completely. And if you have something that's like resin printed or PVC printed, depending on what you're using for your 3D prints, I don't know if you can use resin for a 3D printer, so my apologies if I do not know my full-on knowledge with 3D printers. But you want to sand down your head sculpt. Now, a lot of times, if you're buying from someone, they usually already sanded down for you. For me, they did, but there were a couple of spots that needed a little bit of sanding, so I had to do that myself. Just get a nail filer, and then you should be fine. Just make sure you get one of those as like the paper ones, not the metal ones. You want the paper ones. They're easier to use. You can like bend them at your own will, and then you can get a good result out of them. So that's pretty much all I got going on here. So just make sure that you use your different brushes for different purposes. If you're trying to get like an eyeliner or eyebrows, use the really fine tip brush, the finest tip that you can. Not a brush that's like just one little speck of hair. Make sure it has a couple, of course. Wet your brushes, get a paper towel, get anything that you can dry your brushes off. That way you can get rid of the paint, get a little cup of water. Pretty much the basic things that you probably, hopefully learned in your elementary school art classes. If not, just give it a go for yourself. Do not try to do something that you think you're going to be perfect at instantly, because it takes time. Now, I will tell you, I'm really happy as to how this head sculpt came out, but it's not perfect. There's a lot that I could have improved on, and a lot that I know what to do with for the next customs that I have planned out later down this year, or even soonish as well. So yeah, I'm gonna let my past self take over again and kind of end this video out. Yeah.
All right, that actually was a pretty insane type of cut. It's been like 20 minutes since I cut. It's finished. It is finally finished. Look at that. Honestly, I really like it. So, last thing I want to do is I want to give it a coating. So, I'm just going to put it over here on the little cup. Actually, I don't even need the cup. So, I have the satin finish Krylon. Super good. I'm tired. So, give it that nice finish on the hair. Hopefully, it actually works for this. I don't know how well it works for gouache paints, but I'm hoping it does work well. It's gonna be a little shinier than what it should be. Hopefully, it's not fully shiny. I'm actually going to wear. It's fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Oh, I chipped it. God damn it. Let me grab my thing again. Kind of threw it out. Where's the brush? Where I put the brush? That's right here. Just dabble on that. Yay. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit shiny, but that's fine. I don't really care. I think it turned out really well. So, I'm going to go and finish this video up. I don't think customizing is for me, but I do want to customize a couple of figures. I bought a couple of other head sculpts for a couple of other figures, so you'll probably see videos on those soon enough, of course. Right now you should be seeing pictures of this Psylocke head on the Mafex Psylocke to see how it looks. Again, the satin finish probably a little bit too much, but it actually might work out well in the end. I do have, well, I had a lot of fun. I will tell you that. I had a lot of fun doing this. I do want to do more customized videos or customization videos. Even if it's just like painting head sculpts, I might do this more as a live stream type of thing. More than anything, like how I did the Moderoid figure live stream, so that's something that you might be on the lookout for. I'll be announcing it and everything. So yeah, the next one, just as a little heads up, is going to be the Maximum Hulk. Yes, I ended up getting a new head sculpt for that guy because while I love the Del Keown head sculpt, it's still not perfect. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good day.